lecture today for seminar. Yeah. Which one of the student ready? Okay, Mr. Anwar Muhammad Hatif. Mr. Muhammad Anwar Hatif, your microphone is active. You can start the seminar.
Good evening, could you hear me?
Yeah. You can start.
Okay.
Not problem.
Okay. Types.
Have your song.
Okay. Types of column filler method. Presentation by Anwar Muhammad Hatif and ضياء Hussein Braz. ضياء Hussein Braz.
Okay.
Types of column filler depend on the types of structure system, and columns can fall in different models as discussed in this presentation. The column is one element that carries the vertical load.
You are very fast.
Okay, I'm sorry. The column is the main element that carries the vertical loads to the foundation. Filler of column could lead to the filler of the whole structure. Okay? Therefore, the filler of column should be avoided than any other element. Further, the filler of the column could lead to the progressive collapse of the structure. Therefore, it is very important to define the critical column and pay attention to them during design and construction. Okay?
Okay, very good.
The following types of column filler could be identified. Pure compression filler, combined stress filler, buckling filler, shear filler, filler due to lack of confinement reinforcement, torsion filler, filler due to construction defect, filler due to errors in construction. Okay?
Okay, very good, very good, very good.
Thank you. الصورة شوي راحت picture. Okay. Type 1, pure compression filler. The column is an element that transfers the weight of structure as axial stress to the foundation or supporting element. Concrete is capable of carrying the compression load, is dominant in carrying load, whereas in other elements, such as beam, compressive stress is taken only part of the section. Reinforce is also provide column where it is not possible concrete to carry the whole load as nominal reinforcement. The column can fill and compress due to the increased axial stress than its capacity. This type of filler could be due to the following reason. Reinforce and concrete have certain capacity based on their amount and area of the section. If axial stress is greater than the capacity, column will fill in compression. Further, the reinforcement and concrete have their own strain that they can bear as per the British standards. Concrete is capable of carrying a strain up to 0.00035 and steel stress yielding at strain of 0.002, and it can increase greater than the concrete when the axial stress exceeds a certain amount, resulting in concrete strain greater than 0.003. Concrete will fill suddenly. It will be sudden crushing of concrete. If the section is sufficiently reinforced, it will provide warning before this type of column filler. This picture of compression filler, clear picture, Doctor? Is the picture clear?
Yeah, this is good.
Okay, this picture of compression.
You can continue.
Okay. Type 2, net is very weak. I'm sorry. Combined stress filler. Concrete columns are subjected to bending moments in addition to the axial forces due to the eccentric moment generated due to the unbalanced load. Rooting stress and loading stress and axial compression stress are added together to get the final stress in the iron. Not to be informed stress, however, filler to the column will be based on the above greater brushed under the pure compression filler. The most important thing that the designer should consider in the design is the possible load, foundation, and alternative loading effects when there are significant definition in the spine. Want to be late about the design. This picture of stress filler. Okay.
You can continue, no problem.
Okay.
Yes, I have the picture of a slide.
Okay. Buckling filler. Mainly, the buckling filler can be identified as a filler of the design. We consider the buckling effect in the design. If the designer aware of these types of column filler, he could attend this additional bending moment of the column, slenderness of the column considered in the design. Further, the effect height of the column is considered beside on its pattern of buckling. Buckling filler, the name it itself provides the idea about the mode of filler. Therefore, we consider it in the design. Buckling filler is the upper basic.
Mrs. Anwar, slowly.
Yes. Okay,
Slowly.
I'm sorry. Okay. Buckling.
مذكر يعني نمونه حالية كموتسيات كلية هم كثر هذا بعد بنيسة بس ولا أبغى أمسح بس هذا سيد بنيسة هم كذا
والله شيء مفضل
على يا سؤال
شيء
بس هذا سيد جزء أسكت هذا سيد ولا جنبي على سالي كتوع أصلي ياك على بحيث خضر please continue Mrs.
Okay. Okay.
Have you problem?
No.
One person called to me.
No,
okay,
I want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Continue.
You are welcome, Doctor. Buckling filler. The name itself provides the idea about the mode of filler.
Slowly.
Slowly.
Payload is very important because it is important subject. Okay, because if one element subject to the force. Okay. Due to local buckling very important, and it is a start for global buckling. This is very important. Okay,
Doctor, I'm so sorry. Okay. Buckling filler. It's okay. Buckling filler. The name itself provides the idea about the mode of filler. Okay, this we are consider it in the design. Buckling filler is the other basic mode of filler of column addition to crushing filler of columns. We provide like the columns avoid buckling. It is the basic idea for providing length to the column other than for as shear reinforcement.
Yes, okay.
Okay, this picture of buckling filler of column. Picture is clear, Doctor?
Yeah, it is clear. Not good. Please change the slide. Maybe it will be better.
Okay.
Please change. Yes, it is. Well, it is very clear. Okay. It is clear. We can see the buckling of problem. At zone up. Okay, we have buckling.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I continue.
Very good, because distance of stirrup very high.
Very high. Okay. Yeah.
If we use of longitudinal bar and also stirrup, it will be better.
Okay. Other type shear filler. Later load in a structure are carried by vertical elements such as column and shear walls when there are no shear. Walls column carry these lateral loads. Lateral loads are generated by walls, earthquake loads from retaining structure, etc. Shear links are provided to column based on the shear forces exerted on them. Further, the size of the columns is increased in the direction of shear to increase the shear capacity. In general, filler of columns due to shear can be identified as the filler of design. Designer should have provide adequate shear length of section to carry this shear forces. أتصور إنه أنا قدمت مرة ثانية. Okay, picture clear, Doctor?
Okay, you can continue. This is very good. Okay, yes, I can see the
shear filler of column.
Yes. Shear of column at the bottom of column.
Okay, yes, at the bottom of column.
Maximum shear force, okay?
Okay.
At the end
Bottom, yes.
Very good.
Thank you,
Mark.
Doctor. Okay, Doctor, I continue.
Thank you. Very good.
Thank you, Doctor. I continue. Filler due to lack of confinement reinforcements. A vertical element subjected to cyclic loading of this naturally. Filler causes mainly due to the lack of links in the area where there are higher shear forces. The structure elements such as beam and column, higher stresses are generated. Near the connections, lack of links in these areas causes structural failure when cyclic loading are applied. Okay,
yes, you can continue. Yes, I have your son. No problem, you can continue.
Okay, Doctor. Okay, torsional filler. There is a probability of column subjecting to torsional moments. Usually, columns are designed for axial bending and shear forces. However, due to the irregularities in the structure, the torsion behavior of the column can be observed. Columns are torsionally rigid when they are compared with the beam, as they have reinforcement around the section and lengths are provided at closer spacings. However, if the torque exceeds the limiting values, column could be filled in torsion. The picture is clear, Doctor?
Okay, you can continue.
Torsion filler, okay.
Okay, this is very important, very good picture.
Thank you, Doctor.
All the column is subjected to torsion. You have a filler. Okay. This is
okay. Okay, Doctor, I complete. Yes, Doctor, I am continue. You hear me, Doctor? Your voice is very weak.
What is your
Doctor, I don't hear you. Sorry.
Okay, you can continue, no problem.
Okay, you hear me now? Okay. Filler due to construction defects. Columns could fail due to the construction defects. For example, improperly treated the concumbent in column could lead to the filler when the loss applied. These types of column filler can be avoided and attended with much care. Cavities inside the column that were not filled properly with construction ground. This is the compressive area of the column. As a result, its axial capacity will be reduced. Further, cavities inside the column could lead concrete to crack. It will open the reinforcement to the environment, leading the corrosion of reinforcements. Similarly, instance called cause filler. This picture, Doctor.
Yeah. This picture, yes, it is about construction defects. Okay. It is defects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Failure due to the errors in the construction. There are many errors that could happen in construction, and they also can categorize under types of column failure. Employing a qualified engineer to the project and close supervision of construction work will minimize this type of column failure. Make reduce the bar diameter considered in concrete column and the location, change the grade of concrete, lack of strength in the concrete due to the failure of the concrete supplier.
Oh, yeah.
Like this picture, Doctor.
Yeah,
The construction.
Yes, this is due to errors in the construction. Okay, this is very important. This failure due to errors. Okay?
Okay, Doctor.
Construction, this is very good also. This is very good picture.
Thank you, Doctor.
You can see the defect of the column, okay?
Okay, Doctor, okay.
You can see this.
Doctor,
okay?
Okay, Doctor, okay.
Okay, you can, if you can dig it is better. You can see the effect.
Yes, Doctor, yes. Thank you. Yes, okay. Doctor, I am...
your work is okay.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Mrs. Anwar Muhammad Hotep, your
Yes, Doctor.
present is very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Okay. Please wait. I note your name.
Anwar Muhammad Hatef.
Yeah. Okay.
And Via Hassan Braz.
Yeah, Mr. Muhammad.
My father. Anwar Muhammad Hatef. Anwar.
Anwar is name of man.
No. In Arab for women.
Because same Mr. Muhammad Anwar Sadat, president of Egypt.
Okay. Similar.
He was a man, huh?
He means lights. So it is okay for man or for women.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Your present, very good.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Anwar Muhammad Hatef and Via Hassan Braz.
Okay.
Via Hassan Braz. My friend.
Mr.
Via Hassan Braz.
Ria?
Yeah, it's with me, but it's very weak for him.
Yeah. After you?
No, Doctor. It is with me.
Okay.
Okay, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
خیلی خوب. Mr. Yasem Ahmad, are you present? Yasem Ahmad. Are you ready for present? Mr. Muhammad Jassim, how are you? Mr. Yassim Ahmad, your microphone is active. You can start the present. Mr. Yassim Ahmad. Mr. Yassim Ahmad, are you ready? You can start the present. Okay, Shima, Mr. Shima, also you are ready? After Basim Ahmad, you can start.
Good evening, Doctor. How are you?
Thank you, sir. Oh, very good. Yes, you can start the present.
Okay, Doctor. Just a minute, upload fire.
اول سوال یکه 5 مرحله گرچه نتگسته هر وقتی واتساپ نمیکرده سوال تو اولیه که بتن صفحه 103 خود کتوب تو که مواد 16 بشیم ما 116 یه جدولی ها این 5 مرحله سه سوالیه اول 132 اول یه جدولی دیره 103 116 روی نت شماره گماره ولی صفحه 103 کتوبه آره یکم بابا گرم که سوال توی آره Mr.
Okay, Doctor. Tell me.
You are ready?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, very good. Mr. Basim Ahmad Yasin Al-Amari. Okay, you can start.
Thank you, Doctor. Good evening for you and students.
Very good. After you, Mr. Shima Ali Hamid, inshallah, is ready for present.
Miss Shima. Start, Doctor?
Yeah, I have your son. No problem. You can start.
Okay. Strength and referring fracture against earthquake.
But we have problem. You can show the slide.
Yes, I can show.
Have your slides?
Yes, Doctor, I show for me.
Oh, you can show. Okay, no problem.
Okay, by Basim Ahmed Yasin, Supervisor Dr. Mujtaba Al-Husseini.
Okay, very good introduction. Okay, yes, I have the picture of slide.
Okay, Doctor. First slide, introduction. The widespread is growing in it of the society of rebuilding increasingly resist the need to use the new methods and material to
Mr. Basim.
Yes, Doctor.
Slowly for understand of the student, okay?
Okay, Doctor.
Because
Doctor,
the English language is a second language for a student. For better understand.
Doctor, after this lecture,
Yes, it is better you explain very slowly, okay?
Okay, Doctor. After the lecture, I sent in the group WhatsApp
Okay, okay.
The widespread and growing need of the society of building has increasingly raised the need to use new methods and materials and increase the speed of construction, lighting, increase the useful life, and also make buildings to earthquakes. Also, various factors such as occurrence of the earthquake in the peripheral structure increase the need for repair in the structure. For this is many solutions for strengthening and repairing structure have been presented, among which the most important of this method are the six. Sorry, Doctor, the network.
Okay, okay, no problem.
Reinforcement to space one, reinforce of beam by concrete jacketing method. In this picture, one of this common technique is to increase the gravity bearing capacity of beams, concrete or steel, in the building by applying of concrete jacketing. In this method, beams which have poor bearing capacity or being damaged are reinforcement again by adding reinforcement and formwork concreting, usually compact concrete. In case where the concrete jacketing is thin, concrete shot curve can be used to access this concrete, like this picture there. Two-step use of steel jacketing. One of the way to strengthen the beam and the beams in the building is to use a steel jacketing. In this method, the cross section of the beam is reinforced using steel sheets as roll, twist, V-strip, or lock. Depending on the case, steel jacketing can be used in the reinforcement of concrete and steel beams without of significant increase in the weight of the building to improve the delivery of the potential method for performing the technique and rating construct is to connect the solid sheets with hook to the beam. This, yeah. Space there. Preparation or pre-stretching technique using FRB laminates. FRB fibers are another reinforcement method used to strengthen. In this method by using tension, induction, and pre-stretching couples. The internal force are the active load bearing capacity of the member is immediately increased and as a result the current beam is strengthened. Adding steel sheet to the beam. And this, sorry. Okay. In this method, the flexion capacity of the beam increased by connecting the steel
rotating the steel shades to tensile. Okay.
steel shades.
Is important. Yeah.
Please, Doctor,
It's having egg steel shades to
adding.
in a
Okay.
state of FR. Yeah, yes, it's important. and the thickness is about 3 centimeter, okay?
Okay, doctor.
And we use also epoxy resin. Yeah, this is a good method.
I don't have to.
This is one method.
And continue.
Yeah, you can continue.
In this method, the flexural bearing capacity of the beam can be increased by connecting the steel sheets to the tensile zone in concrete beam. In this method, steel sheets with maximum thickness of 3 centimeters are glued to the concrete by adding to the steel beam core. Shear strength can be increased. Reinforcement of beam with FRB composite concrete beam. Of concrete beam with FRB materials reach 3 times the tensile strength of steel in 3 to 4 days. Therefore, fiber very high tensile strength compared to steel sheets. FRB connection to the tensile zone of the concrete in concrete beam will increase the bending capacity of the section. Numerous factors such as the cross-section dimension of the concrete beam, the area and mechanical characteristics of the existing rebars and FRB bars used, as well as the strength of the existing concrete, are involved in increasing the flexural strength of the concrete structure using FRB system. In the technical literature, this increase in testing has been reported from 10 to 160%, like this. Concrete beam. Advantage: concrete beam reinforcement method with this FRB. 1. Increase the flexure strength of the beam, increase shear strength of the beam, increase the ductility of the beam, increase corrosion resistance, increase duration and life, crack with control, low thickness of sheets are no dimension, easy of compared to the other conventional methods. Corrosion repair. Two pictures after this.
Yeah.
Yes, doctor. I continue.
You want to continue?
Yes, doctor. Steel beam. In steel structure, the beam are responsible for bearing coming from the floor of the structure and transfer them to the column. If the steel beam does not have sufficient bending capacity to withstand loads for any reason, it needs to be reinforced, like reinforced concrete beams. Steel beam can reinforced by a technique FRB to the part of the section to be structured in this way. It can be strengthened by reinforcement the lower wing of the steel beam with 2 joint ends. Also, for 2 fixed end beams or beams used in multi-span frames, it is possible to strengthen flexural property of the limb by strengthening the lower wing with FRB in the middle of the length of the limb, and also the upper wing in the area near the support. Advantage of reinforced method of steel beam with FRB. Lemons extraction problem due to the very low weight of the FRB fiber. Flexible of FRB fiber. Increase the bending capacity of steel beam. Daily local buckling of the beam wing. Low thickness of FRB eliminated and significant change in the beam dimension. Low cost compared to another converted method. Column by steel jacking.
First notion, yeah, by a steel jack cutting. This is very important. This is very good figure. Okay, for this is very in this method we use up a steel jack cutting. Okay,
Is very low.
this is very good for shear capacity. Okay, and also compression and also constrain the column. Okay, can be provided. It is very important. Okay.
Reinforce of columns by using steel jacking increase compressive strength, here as well as providing constraint to increase is ductility. With this reinforcement method, the shear capacity, compression, and constraining the column can be provided on this their bearing capacity against earthquake, lateral loads, and gravity increase. Column reference solution. Column reference with FRB composite. Reinforce of concrete column, like this picture, doctor. When the column is subject to the seismic loads, the assumption of energy, absorption capacity, and ductility of the column become important, such that the use of FRB fiber. While increase the shear capacity of the column, change its pressure mode from shear mode, and significantly increases directly as the on the column increases. Concrete tends to in direction perpendicular of the direction of the load. Transfer coating by adding layers of glass and carbon fiber. Increase the final strength of the and support the more formation capacity of concrete to 5 times. A placement of fiber to the longitudinal axis at the limb complete twice. Also concrete the limb. Therefore, FRB is basic and foreign of the transfer deformation in the distinct concrete column, and is not placed in the on the member bus. Therefore, and complete between concrete and FRB in this method of reinforcement is very important. Reinforcement of concrete column. Advantage and terms of concrete column with FRB. Increase the flexure strength of the column. Increase the shear strength of the column. Increase the compressive strength of the column. Increase corrosion resistance. Increase durability and life. Control of crack spread and crack width. low thickness of FRB sheets and no significant change in the beam dimension, easy of implementation, low cost compared to the another conventional methods, and increased depletion. Reinforcement of steel column with component of build. Most of the and often when up to the ground. Major failures in steel include the buckling, general buckling and the joint and touch. The use of FRB coating in a closed section is similar to the reinforcement of concrete columns, and with the fiber encircle the steel column and increase their compressive strength. It also increases the ductility of the members of under combination of axial and flexural force. Advantage of steel column reinforcement with FRB: ability to increase the axial shear and flexural strength of the column, increase ductility and ultimate relative discipline, minimal increase in base dimension among similar method, high speed of reinforcement without stop the operation of the structure. Adding steel sheets. In steel building, the steel column can be reinforced by adding a cover sheet to the wing of the column or by adding a sheet parallel to the column core. In the first case, by increasing the wing thickness, the local buckling of the column wing and prevent and adding a sheet parallel to the column core with the turn the cross section into box shape and increase the moment of the inertia along the length parallel to the core. Concrete slab reinforcement section. Increase the thickness of concrete slab. Problems such as increase the load without working in the design of the slab of steel reinforcement or the presence of cracks in the concrete slab. The method of the increase the thickness can be used to strengthen the concrete slab if the negative moment and the amount of the lower reinforcement is stiffened. We increase the thickness of the slab in this upper side. On the other hand, if the concrete slab is not able to stand the positive moment on it or the dead load on it much less than the live load, the thickness of the concrete slab on its lower side should be increased. You can afford these steps to increase by slab in this similar. Adding a steel blade slab like this picture. On the method to control the structure and increase the stiffness, strength and integrity of the concrete floors and ceiling is the use of steel blade and sheets. These sheets must be properly attached and resistant to the roof and the space between the roof and the sheet should be filled with grout of epoxy-based materials to provide adequate adhesion, seismic performance against earthquakes, and proper load transfer. Reinforcement of concrete slab with FRB composite. Reinforcement of concrete slab with FRB is done locally to increase the bearing capacity of the slab as resistance of corrosion, like of compressive strength of concrete, flexural strength, shear and particularly responsible for with the stand vertical load because on the diagram they must be connected to the strong electric of the structure of under stress. To refresh this slab can be applied in the form of strip or plates on tensile surface to increase structural strength. One-way slab with sample support can be reinforced by drawing of RB strips or plates on their lower surface and in the longitudinal direction. On both sides of the slab, reinforcement should be done with a RB strip in both directions. However, if the slab has fixed support of RB strip should also be applied to the upper part of the slab. Also, reinforcement and the important concrete slab with FRB is done in order to increase the shear capacity of the concrete slab bunch around the column and straight over around the opening. The use of SFRP sheets in the tensile area of the slab joint can delay of the function. The first concrete member and composite using concrete or steel coating increase compressive and also provide quick load increase. Advantage for concrete that was with FRB. You like this picture, you can use the fiber strips. Disadvantage, can you avoid in the group WhatsApp. Concrete short crate wall. In the one of strength the wall, the use of the concrete short crate and reinforcement of concrete or masonry wall, which has a great effect on the reinforcement of building in general. In this method, the first rubber network is placed correctly and the constrained on the wall, and then concrete also another advantage of this method for walls surface or concrete spring like layer reinforcement concrete and most of with RB composite. Of RB polymer composite material of laser company made of glass or carbon fiber are an ideal solution for strength and strength concrete walls. And reinforced masonry walls break and filter among the structural elements that can be reinforcement in this building with the help of FRB primer material. The following can be mentioned: reinforcement concrete shear walls, reinforcement concrete walls, masonry walls. We can view this from the group WhatsApp disadvantage.
Okay, very good. Mrs. Han, you are unemployed. You are right. 8. What happened?
Excuse me, doctor.
Let's continue. Not Mrs. Han, right. 8. I don't know what happened. I think she is unemployed. Continue.
Net weak, very weak, doctor. Net very weak. I don't hear you good. Beam to column connection and reinforcement concrete flexural frames is one of the most critical points in the performance of flexural reinforcement. Concrete frames, due to the connection location under earthquakes, experiencing stress. Therefore, modifying the preference of the connection node and strengthening it will improve the performance. Strengthen the connection as follows, which according to different criteria on or combination of them is selection to improve the performance of the connection and strength is against earthquake. Injection of epoxy resin in this steel jacketing of concrete joint, using of X-shaped pre-structured collars. Reinforcement of joint using FRB, like this picture. Existing steel sheet jacking in great steel cages in the concrete joint. Penetration of connection. Great concrete jacking and joint by strengthening concrete joint.
Okay,
as well as the shear
Mrs. Han, not problem. Mr. Salvan and Mr. Ali Ahmad, yes, I know you are present. Your seminar, not problem. You can be comfortable, Mr. Salvan and Mr. Ali Ahmad Khali, no problem. Okay? Oh, you can continue. Oh, repairing, yes. Damaged concrete. Oh, it is very important.
Damaged concrete.
Okay.
Concrete can be called one of the most widely used materials in building construction. Concrete and concrete building are damaged during the operation and construction process, which require concrete repair. Common types of damage to concrete building include crack in concrete deterioration, concrete corrosion, peeling, and physical damage to the concrete.
Crack and deterioration and also corrosion. Okay, this is very important for building structure. Okay.
Using
for construction. This is very important. Yeah. Okay.
8.1. Plumeric base pillar of concrete with high viscosity is mortar with the strength equal to or greater than the strength of the base concrete and has fast solidifying properties and good adhesion to the concrete surface. Concrete repair mortar can be used to help and repair concrete in areas that are damaged and weak. Concrete repair mortar is available in two types of cement base box, which are used to help and repair all types of concrete and elements.
Yes, Mr. Salva. Yes.
Type of concrete
Whisper your name.
able to help and repair all types of damage. Injection of
very
the box series cracks and concrete repair and fixation important of occurrence. Injection of present epoxy resin to repair crack in the concrete member is one of the practical reinforcement methods. The steps of the repairing cracked concrete by injection method are the follows: modeling and specifying the location of holes, drilling holes in the place specified in the previous step, installation of nipples and buckers, perform injection operating with injection pumps. Improving the structural system of the building, shear wall attachment. In this reinforcement method of joining a shear wall to concrete or steel structure, the stiffness of the structure can be changed, and in addition to the increase the bearing capacity of gravity loads, the bearing capacity of lateral loads caused by earth can also be increased. Adding concrete here, Dr. Slide.
Okay.
Adding
Okay.
Adding steel brace to the strength the concrete structure will increase the stiffness, reduce the need of ductile, and increase the shear strength of the system brace are divided into three categories: eccentric brace (EBF), post-track is buckling balance brace. General of the system is on due to its cost and the problem mentioned and the provision of bonding.
No.
Type of the converse system can be used and the type of structure.
No. Muhammad.
To explain extensively braced and pulling restraints brace different from this system. Adding bending frame. Technique of adding bend frame is used to element local or general strength or stiffness of the building. In this method, steel bending frames are usually placed immediately in the divisions of the single beam of column or near the opening of the first floor. Bending frames should not be placed in the place other than those mentioned or the flowers above this first flower. It's later in building proof. This like picture. This is I better this systemic isolation systems are one of the common methods of protecting buildings against seismic loss. Seismic isolators include structural elements that separate high-rise buildings from their foundation. Is located on the seismic bed and provide integrated and safe operating earthquake. Lumber and building improvement like this. High-rise building need more optimized improvement. Solution damage are energy absorbers that enter your building. Numbers that are placed in the main location in the building. Force of the earthquake and prevent damage to the building and some case in its cost. Thank you, doctor, and thank you, and another student.
Okay. Very good.
Will send
This is Brazil. Different position